Yeah, we're really focused on ourselves this week. We're doing like we traditionally do and working on a lot of areas that we feel like we can get better, going through all special teams phases and offense and defense and getting a lot of quality work, working on some future opponents that we've got coming down the line. And kids have had a good attitude, at least for the first 2 days, and we're going to find out today how much better we can actually get.
Hey, Kirby, you mentioned a couple of times that you're playing a little bit more zone on the back end. Could you elaborate a little bit more on some of those changes?
It's complicated, Mike. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we've always played 3 deep zone here. We play 3 deep zone. 3 deep zone was invented when football was invented, and it's stood the test of time. So nobody is perfect at it. We're certainly not. But we're probably playing that, I don't know, 10, 15% more than we normally would. Probably a little less man match, which everybody's man match is different. Man, it's not. There's man single high, and there's man match quarters, there's zone quarters, there's quarter halves, and there's simulated pressures. So we do a lot of different things within our defense. We're just spreading those things out, probably more balanced than focusing on 1 or 2 coverages we played in the past.
Hey, Kirby. Now that you guys have risen to the number 1 ranking in the polls, have you even spoken to your team at all about, just playing with that kind of target on your back? Georgia doesn't have a very long history of being number 1. They've been there before, but it's not something that's been a regular thing for them. And I'm just wondering, is this something that you addressed your team about, or do you just really not pay much attention to it at all?
No, we don't address it as far as the ranking. What we address is our strengths and weaknesses, and very technical in our approach of why. Why have we had success, and why have we struggled in some areas, and what can we do about those? And I think the more interaction you have among the team, and they tell you why, then you know where their pulse is and whether they actually understand. So there's not been a lot of conversation about the rankings. I think our guys realize it doesn't matter. It's just a number. What does matter is what we do well and what we do poorly.
Quick follow-up, Kirby, if I may. You've built a program, to the point where there has been the kind of consistency I'm assuming that you want every year. I know you want to win a championship every year, but could you just talk about what you feel are the 2 or 3 most important things to building a sustainable, successful, long-term program?
I think infrastructure in terms of personnel is key, meaning you've got staff members that buy in. That's not just the 10 on the field coaches. That's everybody. That's the recruiting organization, the player development organization, the training staff. It takes a village, and we've been pretty sustainable in terms of keeping guys, and our administration have helped us do that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is recruiting good players, but demanding excellence out of them. I think a lot of teams across the country can recruit good players and maybe get some, but demanding excellence from them and holding them to a standard is important. And I just think that discipline within our program is important. I think when you lose discipline, you see mistakes, you see errors, you see inconsistencies in performance, and I just think discipline's the key to that. And we've really tried to hone in on that with our players. It's the little things that you do right week to week that hold people accountable to do what they're supposed to do on the field.
Coach, I hope you're doing well today.
Doing good, Steve.
Now that you've hit the halfway point and this is kind of a self-scout week, what do you like most about your football team, Coach?
The joy with which they come to practice, the fun we have coaching them, and the buy-in we get from them and the response. I think the fact they're well connected, but we feel as a coaching staff we're connected to them, and it makes it fun to coach them. You keep the culture positive.
And that, to me, sounds like there's good leadership on this team. Is that fair to say, Coach?
they've done a good job setting the standard of what the expectation is in practice and how we work. They've done that so far. We've got to continue that.
Yeah, Kirby, thank you. Can you give us an update on how JT looked? I know you said yesterday he would see a little bit more action, and as far as his status of being able to take regular reps again.
Yeah, he took more reps with the groups yesterday than he has in the past, and I thought he did a good job with those reps. I mean, I think he'd be the first to tell you there's a little rust there from not having taken as many 11 on 11 reps or good on good reps. We'll see how he responds today and see if there's any soreness, what his pitch count will be, and how many reps he's able to get.
There's a lot of sentiment that Anthony Richardson might start against Georgia, but at this point, Dan has made no commitment on that yet. But could you just talk about the difficulty of preparing for two guys?
Yeah, to be honest with you, we haven't really started preparation on Florida. We watch all our opponents coming up in the future in the morning, and we've really been focused on trying to get better at things we can do better. We will start heading that direction this afternoon and tomorrow. But again, I don't control who starts, and they have some similarities. Obviously, we've seen both those guys in terms of recruited Anthony and know a lot about all the guys that have played there. Emory's from our state, and we've seen him play. So they got a really good football team and got a lot of respect for both those quarterbacks, and we'll have to have a plan for both.
Yes, Coach. I did have a follow-up about recruiting of just how big of a role is this bye week in terms of recruiting starting from Sunday through, as you mentioned, getting ready for your next game. But is recruiting back to normal, per se, that I say in air quotes, compared to what it was a year ago, Coach?
Yeah, I think so. It is. I mean, as normal can be. Some of the high schools are affected through COVID and cancellations, which in turn can affect us and where we go and who we go see. But there's not a lot you can do this weekend because nobody's coming to our campus with the game being off. I think we can go out to others and watch and evaluate and see guys play, and we'll do that. But I don't know if that answers your question or not.
It does. Thank you, Coach.